Okay, Mom, you are on and you're starting, and the voice will
Yes.
let you know if you got through clearly.
Welcome, all of you. We've had a little bit of computer problems, but I think Joni solved it all. Can you hear me?
Can you guys hear her?
No answers.
Guys, can you hear her?
Can
Okay,
you hear
Carol,
me?
can you hear?
Let me keep on talking.
Keep talking.
Let me keep talking.
Greg, Carol, can you hear her? Yes. Okay, Mom,
Oh,
you're
good.
You're on.
We need to congratulate Joni because suddenly the computer didn't work and she kept on trying and we succeeded. We didn't, she did. I'm very proud of her. Okay, let us begin. First of all, welcome. And suddenly we had summer. And when I dressed for the really hot summer day today, it got windy and cool. And I love it. That means we're not winning with nature. She's winning. There's a telephone ringing. Joni's going to answer it, and I'm going to talk. I want to tell you about the new things that we're going to be doing.
Perfect.
My greatest hope was, and it happened when John Taracuso, when he sent me,
Guys, you have to be quiet.
we're having all kinds of disruptions. When he sent me the information on the temple, which was painting number 25, I was hoping it would start cross-communication where people would put in their own comments. And then Johnny Santana sent me the wonderful thing that's posted. Take a look at it. It's on the wall. I painted it many years ago when I was doing the Delmonico.
Yeah.
And wait, there's another interruption. Don't go away. We're coming back. Don't go away. Okay, you're still here. Great. Anyway, the painting this time is going to be of Broadway between 21st and 22nd and 22nd Street. And the people there were not as fascinating as the people on the Lower East Side because they didn't stop to talk. It was a business district and people walked by very quickly until one man passed by. And he stood in back of me and he mumbled. And he mumbled a lot. And I finally was able to understand the words. He was furious because I was painting signs. This is a street filled with signs. And he said, it's ruining our city. All these big signs all over the place. There's no nature left anymore. And he bent over to my papers where I had my paints. And he picked up one of my brushes and dipped it into yellow paint. And he made a huge streak across my blue sky. And he said, put some sunshine on instead of those signs. I hate the signs. And he kept on walking. And I thought to myself, what do I do now? If I get upset with him and call him back, maybe they'll find my dead body one day on the street. So I did nothing. And he didn't come back. But I just wanted to tell you, if you decide to paint on the street, go to the Lower East Side. It's more peaceful. Okay? So that's the story of that area. But it was fascinating because this was a business where they sold toys and things which were fun at a time when there was no real toy store anywhere. Remember, these paintings were done in the 1970s, 1980s, we could say about 50 years ago, right? So there were no large stores which sold specific things. No Toys R Us. Okay? Now, let me do something else. Let me go to my papers and let me just show Joni this. And she will put it, for those of you who did not see the wall, she will show you this.
Okay, they can see it, Mom.
Okay?
Tell them what they're seeing.
With the scene?
Yeah, explain what they're seeing. I'm showing them the picture.
Oh, I just finished explaining. It's a business area.
Okay,
And-
should I keep it up?
No, we have a lot to talk about. Okay, I want to go back again to the story of how trees speak to each other, because it fascinated me. And the funny thing is, if you open your brain to something, other things jump in. And a week after I had spoken about how trees speak to each other, so now here I want to tell you what happened. I was reading the New Yorker, and just to tell you, I've always loved the New Yorker. We've subscribed to it for years. But this coming at a time when I heard about trees speaking to each other, that cells speak. Cells within trees. I'm reading about the cells which speak to us, which make up our body. Listen to this. It's called Growing It Back. And Joni, can you show the picture?
Ken, your whispering is coming through really clearly.
It is a hand growing fingers. Okay? Now let me read what this is about. This man living studied how bodies grow, heal, and in some cases regenerate. He began to talk about this is a worm, a type of flatworm, about 2 centimeters long. It's called the planarian, P-L-A-N-A-R-I-A-N, planarian, I think. If you cut off its head, it grows a new one. Simultaneously, the head which you cut off suddenly grows a tail. And he became fascinated with how does the body say what it should grow? And could that happen if we could learn the correct language that they use? Again, it's electrical. It's done through electricity messages. But we don't know the code. But he's studying them to see if someday, if you cut your foot off through an accident, the cells can speak and teach the body to grow a new foot. According to this amazing article, there's no reason it can't happen. Listen to this. Researchers have discovered that no matter how many pieces you cut this planarian worm into, the record is 279. You will get as many new worms. Somehow each part knows what's missing and builds it anew. What Levin showed his audience was something even more striking, a video of a two-headed planarian. He had cut off the worm's tail, then persuaded the organism to grow a second head in its place. No matter how many times the extra head was cut off, it grew back. He changed the electrical signals among the worm's cells. Levin explained that by altering his electric patterning, he changed the organism's memory of what it was supposed to look like. In essence, he reprogrammed the worm's body, and if he wanted to, he could switch it back. This makes me think. It must make all of us think. It took me so long to learn the signals of the computer. I'm still struggling with the cell phone and the computer the way younger people are not, because they know the code words. And there are too many for me to get accustomed to. So I do email, and I write letters, and I can figure certain things out. But this man decided that he's going to learn what the language is of the cells which grow things, knowing what they should look like. He said, why couldn't human growth programs be activated for other body parts? Severed limbs, failed organs, even brain tissue damaged by stroke. Listen to this. Levin's work involves a conceptual shift, which meant he had to change his form of thinking. The computers in our heads are often contrasted with the rest of the body. Most of us don't think of muscles and bones as making calculations. But how do our wounds know how to heal? How do the tissues of our unborn bodies differentiate and take shape without direction from a brain? Think a minute of the brain. I found out that my thinking is governed by thinking that was needed long ago. How to add numbers, how to subtract numbers, how to multiply numbers. But it was always numbers, written symbols. And once you learned the meaning of A, B, C, D, you could write. Before somebody figured out how to create an alphabet, we couldn't read or write. And simultaneously, different languages grew up. I think sometimes that I used to think of strings, now I think of cells. I used to think that orders I was given from when I was a child will stay with me. But others keep coming in and saying, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel like it. Things which I could never say to a teacher or to my parents. think a minute. When you don't do something, is there a little cell saying you don't have to? Remember when they went up on January 6th, when they went into the Capitol, and they did all the things that as a child you're not allowed to do. Don't open that drawer. Don't take these papers out. They're mine. They're private. What did the riots do? They went in, they opened drawers, and they threw the things up. Was there that little cell saying, I'm not going to do what you told me to do. I'm a grown-up. It's something I'd like us all to think about. What hidden messages do ourselves give us? Let me see. What time do we have?
You have 11 minutes.
I have only 11 minutes. Then let me not do the mistakes I did last time when I eliminated what I wanted to talk about.
And don't forget your tree.
Exactly that. Okay? Anyway, what I just read to you was called Growing Back. It's from the New Yorker article on May 10th. And mix it in with the hidden life of trees. Okay? Now, let me talk about the tree. There is something, is the glare hitting it?
It's fine.
Great.
Mom, should I just read the comments first?
Let him read the comments.
Okay. And I'll move my chair closer to my tree.
Okay, Ken, go.
Okay. So, Julie says, hi, Hedy, Joni, and Ken. What a fascinating article. Science and biology are amazing. And hello from Greg and Sandy, Johnny Santana, and Ismail. Johnny Santana says, hello, Hedy, I love you. Shirley Baker says, hi, everyone, happy to be here. Joe Tripp and Janine are saying hello to you and hello to each other. And Eileen Cutler sends her love, and Carol Hodgkin and Janine as well. And Hernan is watching as well.
Thank you, all of you. Okay, back to the tree. What if within me cells are talking and they're telling me that I should build this tree the way I feel about life? Now, this tree has been battered and broken, and it created new branches. Do I put leaves on or don't I? I don't know. I might, but instead, I've been watching out of my window the dark clouds with wisps of light clouds in between. Do clouds have cells? If trees do, if my fingers do, if my brain does, what are the cells of this tree telling us that the tree wants? First, I had to plant him, her, it. The tree is probably an it, because it's a miracle. And I find that the things that we carry, which are negative to the culture we live in, are sometimes the most amazing, beautiful messages that the mind gives us, but they don't fit. Right? They don't fit. If on a very hot day you shed your clothing and run in the street, you could do it if you're 2 years old. But then the law says no. How do the cells obey? It's a parent saying, go put your clothes on. And maybe there's a cell saying, I will not. And the bikini was invented. Okay? In other words, this tree, I planted it. I worked on the roots. I created roots that went this way. And then, for a good balance, I need to extend this. But I don't want to. And the cells that make the clouds spoke to me and gave me a different thought. Suddenly, the sun is setting. These clouds up here are dark. But down below, there is a tinge of rose, a pinkish rose coming up, very gently. It's not up there. Up here are the dark clouds, which I'm going to be putting in. But let me try a little bit of soft pink and create a base. Because if this is going to be sky, the tree can afford to be unbalanced with the green. If this does not do magic, then maybe I will cut this off or maybe stretch it. See, I don't know. I have only 5 minutes left. In those 5 minutes, let me give you freedom. If any of you want to learn how to draw a tree, go into the yard or wherever you see little broken pieces of branches. Take a pencil. Don't go to paint, because you can't erase that easily. I want you to allow yourself to erase whatever you want to. The best kind of an eraser is a kneaded eraser. That's spelled Kneaded, because you can play with it. And you can put it into corners. But would you send me trees, not because they're good, but because I see you beginning. And I can teach you how to go further by not touching. Let me tell you how I began. When we moved to Oceanside many, many years ago, before most of you were born, I put up some drawings at an art exhibit, and I got a phone call from a mother it was from a sister who had a sister and their mother who wanted to learn to draw. And they called me and said, could you teach me how to draw? Could you teach us? And I said, I don't know how to teach. I've never taught before. And what they said was, just one thing, don't touch our work. Never touch our work, and we'll learn from you. So the three of them and I sat down at my kitchen table, and I explained how I look at things and where to begin. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful because I couldn't touch their work. So it was theirs. And then other people found out about it. And then later on, I put up chairs in the basement. And I began to have classes. And I could do it here. Not if you send me beautiful things, then I can't bother teaching you, because you know so much. But send me a drawing of a beginning of a little twig, a part of a tree, any part. Okay? And what I will do, I will draw on a piece of paper any corrections. I won't touch your words. Ever. But let's make it be communication. And I love you all. And let me say thank you.
So let's let Kenny read the last comments.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. 1 second. Huh. Okay. So, let's see. Rona Rosenberg Fraser says, hello from Rona and Johanna. And Sandy says, beautiful. The tree is going to be amazing. And Carol Hodgkins sends love. And Mitch is saying hello from Wisconsin. And Stephanie and Michelle Burgos says, the tree has developed so beautifully. My cells tell me I love Mondays with Hedy. And Greg is watching, and Julie says, thank you and love you. And Shirley says, love you, Hedy.
When I say I love you, it comes from the depths of my heart. I love you all.
Did I say Hernan said, much love from Hernan and Christopher.
Goodbye. I love all of you. See you next Monday.